Hello and welcome to attaQ. My name is Jakob, I'm your host, and you're watching a attaQ episode. This is Fortamento, and wait, it says Kaka? I gotta change this. Right, this is Fortamento. It's a chord progression and melody progression generator. So what you've got is a very limited amount of stuff and controls, and I want to tell you why I wish that this was a $4 or $5 app instead of a $1 app, because you do get what you pay for. And I'll tell you exactly what I mean. So let me just show you briefly how this works. So you generate new chord progressions, melody progressions by tapping this thing here, and as soon as you do that, it starts playing. Now, the first negative thing is that you can't change around the chord progression. So it's not like I can double tap these, long press these, or drag them around or anything, because you're always locked into a certain chord progression. And you change that out by going to the cogwheel menu. So if we go in here, we have lots of different settings. You can set the tempo, the key, and here is where you set the actual range of the chord progression. If we go in here and I simply switch this to a E major, C minor, go back, and we press play. And so that's basically how it works. So I do think it is a bummer that you can't really switch these around yourself. That's the first thing I would want. Now, I want to say that you can export all of this as MIDI, and so I could just make that change inside something like Cubase or Auria Pro or any other app that can import MIDI files. You do get to change the melody. You do that by tapping the piano roll. But when you open up the piano roll, you only get to work with one bar at a time. I am also annoyed over the fact that I can't play the whole progression of all the 4 chords when I'm in this mode, because, you know, I need that to be able to be creative with my melodies. Now, you can loop this progression. But I really do wish that I could play the whole progression. Now, I want to show you another thing that I don't like with this app. So let's say I play this and I want to go in and switch the tempo. It will just stop playing as soon as I go into settings, and that's something I don't like. Now, there are a few more things in here, like this switch here. This will switch the chord progression around. So it's basically flipping the whole thing. I really like that, by the way. Now, if we go into the cogwheel menu, we can see that we have 2 options for the chord instrument and 1 for the melody instrument. Right now, I'm using a mellow pad for the chords and an electric piano for the melody instrument. And so what I want to do is I want to switch it out to an ice pad, and then I want to switch the melody instrument out to an organ. Personally, I don't really like what the sounds like, but they're there and you can switch them out, and it really helps when you want to be creative with your stuff. Now, when you've got something you do like, then you can save it by pressing here and just give it a name and then save it, and you have your stuff in here. However, here's another thing that is really annoying. You can't open up the files again, and that's really a big downer for me. There are going to be moments when I want to open something up, and I'm going to want to be able to maybe change it in this app before I actually send it further on to some other app. Now, I want to add that this app was made for iPhone, and so I'm using it in the double mode on my iPad Pro here. It wasn't made for that. I had to go and do some tricky stuff in the App Store to actually be able to download this on the iPad. And so it's locked to a landscape mode, which is kind of annoying when you want to export your MIDI into Cubase, because that's what I would do. So let me do that. I'm going to send this to Cubase. There it's opened, and now it's imported. I'm going to open this up. And this is really what the app is so helpful for. Just making quick stuff and exporting it as MIDI into another app and keep on working with it. So the app is $1. I wish it costed more, and that you could have longer chord progressions, and that you could switch them around, and that you could also transpose your stuff. It's a very, very limited app. But since you can export it and just open it up in something like Cubase, you can just cut your MIDI and move stuff around anyway. So yeah, it's a really quick way to get something going. And the reason why I like apps like this is because they have that same instant inspiration as apps like Figure, for instance, because, you know, even though it doesn't come with ready to go chord progressions or melody progressions, it's very, very easy to do stuff because you're locked into a scale and you're locked into a tempo and you can switch out the keys and everything globally. And so it's a very creative process. Another one of those apps is Groovebox by Amplify. And this is also an app I love a lot because they have like ready stuff in there so you can get going quite quickly. You're gonna end up probably, you know, making changes and maybe even removing the melodies, but you'll get instantly inspired and start working. And Navichord is another app that I love because it teaches you about chord progression. So in the end, I liked Fortamento, but as I've kept saying, I just wish it costed more money because I would have liked those extra features, especially being able to transpose stuff, move stuff around, and open up my save file. So Yuri, I hope you don't take this in the most negative way. I like your app, I just see more potential in it, and hopefully you'll keep working on it. And to you viewers, you know, we have to ask ourselves, will it be worth it for Yuri to actually put in the time extra to do, you know, to go that extra step? Something that every developer have to consider. The time they put in has to pay out in the end, because if it doesn't, then it's not a paid job. And if you don't have a job, it's hard to pay bills, it's hard to buy food, you know, all that stuff. So that's something I'm wondering. Will it be worth it for Yuri to actually just keep on working on this and developing this? Well, I sure hope he does. And why don't you viewers tell all of us reading the comment section down there about other apps similar to this? I'm sure there are a lot of people that just wants app that will inspire them in some way. So just tip them off. Please don't talk about GarageBand, Cubase's, Gadget, or anything like that. And not big DAWs. I'm talking about apps like these, like Fortamento here, like Figure, like Fugu, like Fugue Machine. Apps like that. Stuff that will just instantly inspire you. Thank you so much for watching. All comments and ratings are very much appreciated. Now, I do have a Patreon account, I have the PayPal and all of that stuff. And please, if you do subscribe, then do click in that little bell thing, because that way you'll always get notified whenever I make a new video. Well, not when I make it, but when I upload it. As usual, I wish you a... Wait, I usually say something more. Oh yeah, why not share the videos if you like them? So as usual, I wish you a very productive week. Now go finger all. Now go finger all of your stuff and have a lot of fun doing it. It said caca before. I just want to make it say that again. Come on, say caca. Say caca. Caca.